I'm Annie.
And I'm Susan.
And this is...
Two Friends, One Chat. Annie and Susan get clinical.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
little bit clinical. Just
transition music.
Yeah, transition music.
Oh my goodness. Welcome, friends, to
Yes.
episode 5.
Already.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Yeah, you know, when you've got it, you've got
Proud of us. Proud of us.
Oh my gosh.
You're welcome, listeners. You're welcome. 5 episodes.
5 episodes. And we had a big one. Last time we talked about language.
Language is huge.
It is. And it's brought up a lot of really big stuff. Before we get to that,
Okay.
let's talk about what came up. We chatted a little bit about some behaviors that we were having that we identified as something we want to experiment replacing with different behaviors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Our experimenting.
Do you want to give us an update? I thought that would be fun for our Get to Know You segment.
Yes, Professor Annie. I feel like we're in like a lab experimenting, but it's been fun. It's been fun.
Ooh,
So
Professor Annie.
Professor Annie, I'm picturing you in a lab coat right now.
But I want to say that it's like a sexy lab coat.
What?
And I've got like
100.
Clark
You
Kent
got
glasses.
glasses,
Mhm.
really hot glasses. Got a nice high pony.
Yeah, with
Right.
like a little pencil.
Yes.
Yeah, my hair up with a pencil.
100%.
Mhm.
And you've got like fancy clothes on, but you know you got that V-neck button up going, and it's a little stretched.
Just like a little pull. It's
Just
doing
a little pull.
It's like
little pull. Little pull.
Let me out.
With your lab coat. It's hot. It's whatever. It's hot. Okay. Too far. Okay.
Oh my god, that's like the greatest
Bringing it back.
description of all time. Oh my god, I'm going to die. Well, that's Professor Annie for you
Okay.
guys. You're welcome. Okay, I digress.
Okay. That's right. We're talking about the behavior I was experimenting with. So, I was wanting to do a better job of getting up and going to the gym.
Yep.
So I was experimenting with ways to not be so tired in the morning. And I did a lot of different things. Most of them didn't work.
Dish.
I played a lot with, not a lot, but I played a little bit with my medication timing. Like when I took it,
Smart.
thinking if I took it earlier, maybe that would make me less tired when my alarm went off.
Yeah.
I got rid of one of my prescribed medications, but a different medication I used to help me sleep. I thought, well, maybe I just won't take that.
Yeah.
That did not
So sorry.
work.
Yeah.
That was a no sleep night, which was not fun.
No.
So I think the things that did kind of work with this behavior change was I switched my alarm song
Love that.
to Macklemore.
Wait, didn't you talk about that with your therapist? I totally
Yes.
like physically
Hashtag
pause.
that.
I was like #pause. I think I remember you talking to your therapist.
Yes,
about that.
I did.
Love it.
That was one of the things that we thought I should try. So I got kind of a pumpier upper song.
Which
the
Macklemore
morning?
song is it?
Da-da-da-da. He's like, when it first starts, he goes, all right, okay, and I will sing it to myself as I'm waking up with him, like, okay,
I love that.
all right, okay, we're getting out of bed, okay, here we go. So that has helped.
Love that.
The other thing I did, in this kind of processy time, and I apologize for all the chair noises because I was chair dancing there. So you might have heard some chair noises, but
I love that so much.
is I told myself that I'm just going to do every other day. So I give myself a day to sleep in.
Smart.
And then the next day I get up and go to... And it worked.
Wow.
It worked. Until my body said, fuck you.
yeah, you should probably give our friends an update on that.
So it worked really well for a whole week, guys. And then Monday... My rib decided to just stop being in the right place.
Okay, but like it's because you upped your weights.
Oh, okay.
She was being a total badass and upped her weights. So
I did. Okay, all right. I did up my weights at the gym.
Badass.
So I'm pretty sure that's why my rib was like, no.
Peace.
Peace out.
We're going out of socket, bitch. It's not funny. I'm so sorry.
And if anyone has had a rib out, it's painful. It is not fun. It hurts to breathe. So I went to the chiropractor.
Good. Love it.
Because I know my body well enough to know that's what I need to do. I don't go to my doctor. I don't go get muscle relaxers. Those don't work for me. I go get adjusted.
Good for you.
But it was a new chiropractor.
Uh-oh.
You want to hear?
Oh, do I? Dish, girl.
So I went to a new chiropractor. He was wonderful, and he actually helped, and I'm feeling a million times better today.
Yeah.
Jumping back a little bit to language.
Oh, love that callback.
Kind of, let's show you how this works. My rib out was very painful, like, to the touch. So he was just, like, feeling stuff, and he touched that area, and I, like, freaked out. And he was like, whoa, is it that sensitive to touch? And I was like, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
And this gentleman, I'm going to use appropriate language today.
She wants to say MF.
This gentleman goes, do you have shingles? And let's talk about language. You don't throw a word like shingle out. Plus, you're a chiropractor, which is a doctor. I'm not, that's a lot of work. Yeah. I love chiropractors. But, like, that's not your area.
Yeah.
And you don't just throw a word like that out. Me being me, and you know this, and I'm sure some of our listeners understand spiraling.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right?
You know, for full disclosure, Susan told me this story before, and the first thing I said was like, and now you think you have shingles, because we are two individuals who have really experienced spiraling.
Yeah.
And our minds and language are so powerful, and words have meaning. So it's why, you know what? A plug for social work. One thing I love about social work is it really stresses stay in your lane, keep to the scope of what you know.
Stay in your effing lane.
I'm so sorry. I mean, well, oh man, it's just the worst. I'm so sorry.
So, for those of you that know spiraling, you immediately know what happened, right? Now, for the last 48 hours, I have shingles, right? I got a weird zit on my arm. It was shingles, right? My elbow hurt last night, and I was sure I had shingles. I was dying, right? I get up this morning. I actually look at my elbow in the mirror. I had just effing skinned it. Oh. And I don't know how, but I spent a whole day sure I had shingles. Yeah, no, I just skinned it.
Literally, sure.
I'm 100% I have shingles. I don't have shingles, guys. I don't. I don't. But that's what we do. Yeah. Language is important. You throw a word like shingles out, I'm going to spiral the F out of that.
Yeah, and professionals, stay in your lane. Because that's...
Thank you.
Yeah. It's actually super important. It should be applied... It's cool, because that's really in our code of ethics. But not all professions have that, and so you have a lot of people flippantly throwing out ideas, which can wreck the trajectory of, like, a human's mental health. So...
For sure.
Yeah. It is, and it's hard to explain that, because that's a really trauma-informed concept. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to cross that over in professions, which is a huge part of social work, is educating other systems. Yes. So those are just fun plugs.
Little social work plugs.
Yeah.
Back to behavior changes, though. Oh. That was mine. Oh. How is your shopping behavior change going?
Actually, super good. Because here's the thing. It was like, when we talked about it, which is another power of language, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I can do this. And so I spent a lot of time just kind of meditating. What do I enjoy doing? And then kind of, that's not a behavior I consider like a poor behavior, which I consider my online shopping on the side of irresponsible.
Oh,
definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It's like meeting a need that it's not fulfilling, but it's isn't it dopamine? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a dopamine brain response for me.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, what do I enjoy? And this is very silly. And Best Fiends, you should sponsor us because...
You play that?
Yes. And I have used it.
I'm not on it yet.
Oh, you kind of like it.
Okay.
Okay, it's very silly.
Okay.
You don't have to spend any money. And it is kind of it's a very mindless activity. And I enjoy it.
So it's filling that online shopping thing for you. Because online shopping, on some levels, is a mindless activity for sure.
Absolutely.
You're just scrolling through stuff.
Yes. The other thing I've done, so I've done that, which has helped immensely.
Wow.
But the other thing, and this is why I love clothing. We've talked about this. I just love clothes.
Annie loves clothes, and she looks so good in them.
Oh, that's so sweet. And I love style and fashion.
Oh, for sure.
And all those things. And we had talked about, and you brought this up, and this really resonated with me. You said, well, what if you just do like Goodwill? Which I was like, fuck, if that's better for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
I love Goodwill. So it's like that's a double win.
Yeah.
So, I got to go to, there's a Goodwill boutique in Hood River, Oregon.
Oh, fancy Goodwill. Oh, you so fancy, girl.
It is the stuff that dreams are made of.
Here's a one chance fancy, don't let me down.
Damn.
Sorry.
Here's a one chance fancy, don't let me down. I love that song.
It's so good.
So good.
Anyway,
it's so
okay.
Good. And it was awesome. So I spent way less than I would have had I done like an online shopping spree.
Sure.
Got stuff that's already been used, so it's already created, so it's taking away from the fast fashion world. And I was...
You're an environmental hero, is what I hear. Literally saving the earth.
Not everyone says hero, but you said it, not me. Okay. But it did it. And what's interesting is those pieces actually made me feel better about, like, one, I was like, hey, I haven't bought anything online, which is great. And, like, I still had fun. I spent less money. So, great replacement piece.
Oh!
So, I will give an update next week, too, on how it's going. But I was, like, pretty proud. Oh, you know what? Another thing you brought up, and I was kind of liking? Or two other things. Two other things I did to replace the concept.
Yeah.
The first one is, I love outfits.
Mm-hmm.
But I own a lot of clothes.
You do own a lot of clothes.
Some might say too much. I'm not ready to admit that yet.
I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that.
We'll get me there. Because
okay.
It's true. But I'm not ready to fully admit it yet.
Okay.
But I've started using what I have and making outfits out of that. So when I have the urge to, like, build an outfit online...
You build it in your closet instead.
Yeah, and then I hang it up on my window. Like my little window across. Because you know what I really like?
So you're getting that visual piece of, like, online shopping. Visually, you're seeing this thing.
Yes.
And I love that.
It is really fun. And I build all the accessories and everything because a huge part of it is, like, this might be a part of Core Wounds, actually. So don't worry. The episode is coming. But I will be honest, I did not grow up with finances.
Right.
And I was very aware that other people had things that I did not, which every developing kid becomes aware of at some point.
Sure.
So as an adult, I've realized, like, I have access to these things, and I think it has caused me to really want to look really fashionable. That is weirdly very important to me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
sure.
So the building it gives me that, like, release without being frivolous. Like, so I'm getting there.
Annie, you're killing it.
Well, for a week I've killed it. Well, we gotta build some,
You're killing it.
I know.
You're killing it. Okay?
Thank you.
Here's my question for you. Did you try anything that didn't work? And it can be a no. That's fine.
Let me think about that, because what was my fourth thing? I can't remember what my fourth thing is that I had tried. And I'll come back to it because I will remember it eventually. But, oh, yeah, I did try something that didn't work.
Okay.
Putting it in the cart.
That did not work.
No,
okay.
Because I just really wanted to buy it. But I did try it.
And I only bring that up because I want our listeners to recognize that you're gonna try things that don't work.
And that's
okay. That's part of the process. It would be weird if everything you tried automatically worked. It shouldn't.
No.
you keep trying till you find the right
Yes.
thing or combination.
And give yourself so much grace.
Oh,
Yes.
all the grace.
Cover yourself in grace.
Just like a blank or a shower
Yes.
of grace.
Shower of grace, and be mindful what's going on around you, because if things are really hard around you, you won't be able to change those ruts and those behaviors and those things.
Great point. You've got to be in the right space to even attempt something like this sometimes.
Oh, man.
Be gentle. Just be gentle with yourself.
I love that word. Be so, like, hold yourself so gently.
Gentle.
Yes.
You love that word? Because language is important.
Oh, snap. Throwback. Is that the
Throwback?
Oh my gosh. Susan just threw up her hands in a hashtag and went, throwback. And it was
Hashtag
awesome.
throwback.
That was, I would golf clap. That was so good.
Thank you. Throwback like we've been on for years and we're tossing back to like the original episode.
Remember that episode, one episode ago where we really... Oh my gosh, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for coming back. We do have to give a little bit of a heads up.
Okay.
Today we are going to be talking about something a little more personal, a little deeper, that could absolutely be maybe not a super uplifting topic for people. It could bring up stuff.
It could bring up stuff, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because last time we talked about language, and one of the things that came up was our internal monologues.
Yes.
What are we saying to ourselves?
Whoa. You don't want to know, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna jump in. We're gonna jump in.
Really, just dive in. And one of the terms we'll talk about is person-centered, which is one of the coolest things about social work. So it's what works for you, what is true for you. We're gonna talk personally about what has our internal monologue said to us historically, and what have we done to intercede. What's worked, what hasn't.
Yep.
And you know what?
Yep.
Things that haven't worked for us could still work for you.
For you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why we're going to talk about them, because again, this is you experimenting with different things and trying different things to find what works for you. Yeah. Because it's going to be different for everyone.
Oh, man.
It's going to be totally different for everyone.
That is so true. So we wanted to give the opportunity, if maybe, man, you need something that makes you feel a little better. You maybe are looking for something really uplifting, and aren't really ready to chew into something so intense. One, I support you in that.
Yep.
Boundaries are so important.
Yeah.
And if you are looking for this piece to like really lift you up today, it will, and it's going to be super difficult. So I encourage you to skip ahead.
For sure. Like, we are still going to have fun and we're still going to laugh, but this is going to dig a little deeper. So if you're not in the right mindset for that today, skip this one.
Yes.
Go watch Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
Go do what you need to do for your mental health right now. And just, you can come back to this. That's a beauty of podcasts. You can come back to this later.
Would you say cope before you care? Oh my gosh, that is a throwback. A long time ago, we did an episode.
Throwback! Ooh, we are so good. We are really good at this. Wow. You're welcome.
I just love that that's your reaction. It's mine too, but like, you're welcome, world. Yeah. Which is totally us overcompensating, because we're totally going to talk about our internal monologues now.
Which are awful.
You know what my first question was going to be to lead into this
Let's
segment?
do it. Let's do it. What is it?
Have you ever had a positive internal monologue?
Ooh. Son of a gun?
Yeah.
I would say an initial internal monologue, no.
Yeah.
No. My first internal monologue will always be negative.
Yeah.
Eventually, now,
yeah,
as a person that's working on themselves and in therapy and on medication, I think I can get to that place, which we'll get to, with specific. But no, I think initially, no, my internal monologue is almost always negative or critical. Yeah. What about you?
I was trying to think about that because the question came out to ask, and it's so funny how much internal discovery I'm making even just doing this podcast, because usually I don't really have time and space to think about, like, what's my internal monologue? Which is so funny because we're both mental health professionals and we talk to people about it, but it's focusing on, like, yourself.
Oh, so hard.
It's not easy, kids.
So hard.
It is not easy. And my first reaction was, my gut instinct is not a positive internal monologue.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It is. And then it really caused me to, and I had known that I struggled with a negative internal monologue, right? Mm-hmm. And that really led up to me pursuing social work because I found it to just be this really beautiful, supportive, really accepting way to lift people up. And I thought, oh my God, I found so much value in that.
Yes.
And in doing this podcast, I realized, oh my goodness, I've done work on my internal monologue, and the question of has it ever been positive was a huge struggle for me.
Yes.
Because I do think the gut reaction has been that.
Right.
And I don't know how we kind of want to start.
Okay. Well, I think part of what you're saying is we need, for people that are still here and listening, this is not something that just switches. Yeah. We're going to talk about some different things that we've tried that have worked, that haven't worked. I love that. And these are things that we've had to try for years. Yeah. You have to work at something like this. It's not, I'm going to try this thing this one time and now I'm always going to have a positive internal monologue. That's not going to happen.
That's a great point.
Because as we'll get to next week, this is going to come from core wounds. Our monologue comes from core wounds, which we will dig into deeper later. So it's not a switch that you flip. Yeah. It's a constant thing that you work on.
Oh, I love that.
So be kind and gentle to yourself on this journey of internal monologues.
I love it.
Because, how many years have we been working on it? I'm currently in therapy. You've done a lot of therapy.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'm on medication. Like, it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym. It's a muscle you got to build.
Oh, I love that.
Puny. I'm working on it, but it's pretty puny right now.
Oh my gosh, but I love that analogy. That's well said. And that is... It's so interesting how we separate mind from body so many times.
All the time.
I was just having a systems conversation about this. And until we put them together, it's just not going to work.
Yes.
But I love that.
Yes.
And okay, so I'm thinking of kind of a fun exercise. And it may be awesome and it may suck. But I'm going to try it.
That's what we do. We try things.
I'm thinking of an example. And maybe we imagine ourselves in a scenario. And I just think, what's your internal monologue telling to you in this scenario?
Okay.
So let's say you're in line, and you're in line for the bank.
Okay.
Just for the bank.
You can cash our check. Money.
Yeah, we are so, rich as social workers.
I work for a nonprofit, so it's
cash money.
It's like one money. I'm making it rain one time.
One time. It's a
just
sprinkle.
One time. Just a little sprinkle.
She's gonna make it sprinkle in here.
And only to other nonprofits.
Oh my God.
Houseless people only to people that need it.
Oh my God, everything about that is just perfect.
Okay, I'm in line at the bank.
And let's say someone runs into you.
Physically runs into me.
And it could be on accident, it could be on purpose.
Yeah.
Intention's ambiguous. What does your internal monologue say?
I was in the way.
Wow.
I will immediately apologize.
Yeah. Wow. Turns out this is a really helpful exercise. Okay.
It was immediately my fault somehow.
Yep.
I was not where I was supposed to be.
Yep.
I was physically taking up too much space, which we could go into a million different ways, and let's not do that today, but...
Your experience is like... we do not have the same brain. That's what codependent people think. And our experience is... I very much identify with that.
Really?
Yes. That you're in the way, that you're too tall, that you're too,
Yes.
You're too broad-shouldered. That you have caused this somehow.
Yes. Yes, I'm either not where I'm supposed to be because I'm an idiot and dumb and in the wrong space, right?
Wow. Yeah.
We're getting deep. This is internal. I would never say this out loud, but internally this is what I'm thinking. Or And I don't. If you've seen my picture, I'm working really hard at loving myself, but I am a bigger lady.
You are wonderful
and beautiful, big and beautiful. But internally, my monologue is physically I'm taking up too much space because I am a bigger person.
Yeah.
So I don't fit in society's standards of where I should be because I'm too big. That person has run into me. Oh. This is internal monologue. I mean, we're going for it this episode, right?
We're doing this.
Internally, all of that is going through my head, so I immediately need to apologize.
Oh, wow.
It's heavy shit this time. Got oversized load of emotions today, okay?
Yes.
Get that warning sign on.
I think the thing is, though, is like, I know that there are friends listening to this. And
for sure.
I just need you to know that you're not alone and that you have the right to take up space.
Yes!
It is very hard for women to believe that. I am by no means petite. I am very tall, and I am very curvy, and I take up a ton of space. And I have always felt super uncomfortable about that.
Yes.
I also grew up in, like, a family of, like, smaller people. So, like, I just genetically did not fit that bill. And, you know, we can talk about this a little bit in Core Wounds, but there are pieces of that were very, you know, imprinted, very memorable.
Yes.
And I have the same, that I am taking up too much space. It's not the same. We have different feelings.
Yeah.
But it's, I'm identifying with you so much on that, like, because I would also think, I'm in the way. I've taken up too much space. It's so funny that you say that. Like, that is very my experience. I, for all the listeners, I have to fly for work, and I hate it. And I work for the state, so I don't fly, like, first class or anything. And you have to touch strangers just
on a plane. I don't care if you are a small person, you still have to touch others on a plane.
And it touches my internal monologue. And it is really, really hard for me because it is, and it's so funny. So the voices that tell you, and my internal monologue will go, you're taking up too much space, and then immediately jump to, you're a failure for not fitting in.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Failure, if I could give one word to an internal monologue, definitely failure.
Yes. For me, it's the other person has more worth, right? They deserve the space. And we're getting into Core Wounds. 100% though, I have to go back to what Annie said to our listeners. You deserve to take up as much goddamn space as you want.
Yes.
And until you can get your own internal monologue to tell you that, we're going to tell you that.
Heck, yes.
I don't care how big or small you are.
Yeah.
Take up all the goddamn room you want to. Yep. Okay?
You man-spread the shit out of that.
Man-spread it!
I'm just kidding.
As women, people that identify as female, society tells us we're supposed to not take up space, right?
Yeah.
Take up the goddamn space. And I'm telling you that. I'm telling myself that.
Can we just
And I'm telling you that, Annie. Yes. Take up the goddamn space. You deserve it. You're worth it.
Oh my gosh, you're so worth it. I love these conversations a lot because as much as we're telling other people, it actually gives me, like, this empathetic build of, like, if someone's listening to this and it is making them feel better, or they're realizing, maybe you're realizing for the first time. That your internal monologue.
Your mind just got blown. Someone's listening for the first time and got their little mind blown.
Oh my gosh, I need you to email us. I need you to email us. Okay, I'm going to try to do this. I fail every time, but I am not a failure. Gosh dang it.
You are not.
Okay, ready?
You try hard every time.
I do. Okay, I'm going to really try.
You got this.
Email us at twofriends.onechat@gmail.com, spelled TWOFRIENDS dot TWO. God damn it.
One is ONE.
Yeah, scratch that. Try it again. So that's what this podcast is about.
It's about trying.
I'm going to put this on the wall behind you.
Oh, smart.
Okay, so let me try again.
Not you, the listener, me.
Yeah.
She's going to put it behind me so she can read it.
Okay, so it's twofriends.onechat@gmail.com. TWO.
Uh-huh.
FRIENDS dot ONE. CHAT.
Whoop whoop!
And gmail.com.
Booyah! Pat yourself on the
This
back.
will come as no surprise to the listeners. I am bad at spelling.
Okay. Look at
Objectively poor at spelling. So that's something we should all just resonate with.
It's fine.
Which it turns out is fine because Microsoft Word exists. So it turns out none of it matters.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Okay.
SATs.
Stupid goddamn SATs.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Where were we though? We've identified.
Oh, we were talking about internal monologues.
Yep. And that we want people, if you're listening, you've had a revelation.
Yeah.
Email us, and we are going to tell you, as two practitioners that have identified internal monologues that are unhealthy.
Right.
What are ways we've tried? What's worked? What hasn't?
Yes.
To
Yeah.
replace that piece, because you deserve an internal monologue that says you are worth it.
Yep.
You are able to have peace and harmony in your life, and you are able to feel happy and connected to the world.
Yeah. So we're going to share some of our internal monologues and then things that we've tried to help us switch them to more positive
Love that.
internal monologues.
Yep.
Some worked, some didn't.
Yep.
These are things we'd love for you to give a try. If any of them sound plausible to you in your situation, try them. See if they work. Just like we said before, some of them aren't. Some of them are not going to work, and that's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's one thing you crossed off the list, and then you just move to the next, and you try something else.
I love that. You know, my plug is therapy is kind of like dating, you know, and therapeutic practices too. Some things, you know, some people you'll really vibe with, you'll mesh with, it'll be a great connect. Others you'll be like, no, thank you. It doesn't mean either person has more value than the other. It just means that some work, some don't.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell it to people that a lot who are like, who I get a lot of resistance when I suggest therapy sometimes in my work.
Sure. Oh,
And people will say, I've had a bad experience, which, by the way, that's real.
We all have. Some therapists...
Oh, Lord.
Some therapists / counselors just suck and should not be doing their job.
Fact.
But you have to find
Yeah.
who you mesh with.
Yes.
And it's normal to have to go through a few till you get to that
That's
person.
exactly
That's
what I tell people.
normal.
And supported. It's normal and supported.
Yes.
Also, if you
yes.
have a bad experience, I just want to validate you.
Yeah.
That's totally
Oh,
happened.
it happens.
Yep.
Oh.
You're not.
And it is not you.
I was just going to say, you're not crazy.
It is not
No.
you, and it is not even the therapist every time. It's just not the right match. It's
love
just not the right match.
oh my gosh, I love that. Okay.
I can't tell you how many therapists I've been through. I love my current therapist, but it
Yes.
happens. You'll get there. You'll find the right
Yep.
person.
You will. I love that.
You will.
And if it's not working,
Next.
next.
You remember that show?
Next.
Oh, it's the song.
Yeah.
Do you remember that MTV show though?
Yes,
Next.
I do.
God, I loved that show, but also what an awful show.
It was terrible.
It's awful. It's not
horrible.
okay.
And I watched it.
And great.
Yeah, I'm not proud. I'm not feeling a lot of things I'm not proud of.
No, it was coping. We were coping. We didn't know it, but it was a coping show.
You know what I think for me, truthfully, it was? I liked, and we can talk about this in Core Wounds,
Okay.
but I liked making fun of other people
because
I felt better about myself. Which was that show, that's what that show was all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will dig into that another time.
Yeah.
Another time.
Okay.
Let's
okay.
talk about things we've tried with internal monologues.
Okay, you're up first because the first note we have is a visual reminder.
Ooh, okay. So, for me,
Yes.
sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. I visually need to write positive things out on Post-its.
Yes.
Whatever. Usually it's a Post-it for me. And I need to visually see it and read it to myself. Because it's the same thing, right? I tell myself in my head.
Yeah.
But somehow for me, sometimes the visual of it helps cement it a little bit more for me.
Would you say saying words out loud has value?
You know, God damn it, yes, it does.
Would you say like language is so important?
Hashtag throwback! Yes, 100. And honestly, no, for
Yeah.
reals though, that
Yeah.
was a step I had to take. I just wrote it out for
Yeah.
a while and then recognized that wasn't enough. I needed to say it out loud
So
to
beautiful.
myself.
I love that.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think that's just based on where I am, like my headspace at the time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I got post-its up all over. Right now.
Love that. I love that.
Let go with grace. That's my big post-it right now.
Oh.
Let go with grace.
Tell me more about that.
Okay.
Hashtag throwback open question.
Hashtag open question.
But I want to hear about this so bad. I'm like so excited.
Oh my god. So for those of you that don't know, I'm currently dating. I'm online dating.
Oh, yep.
I struggle with once I've started talking with someone, like if it's just not working.
Yeah.
Just, it's okay to just let it.
Snip it.
Just let it. I tend to constantly want to be like, what's going on? How are you feeling? Let's talk about, right? So my hashtag right now, I didn't hashtag it on my fridge, but that's what my post-it says.
I love that.
I need to learn to just let people go with grace.
Oh my gosh, wow. Both beautiful and a lifelong lesson.
There you go. It's on a post-it. When I need that, I will go to my fridge. It's on my fridge for some reason. And I will say it out loud to myself.
You know what? Randomly you saying that reminds me of the only good advice I've ever gotten from a Cosmo magazine. And I read it when I was like in my early 20s. And it literally was like, you can outgrow your friends. And I was holding on to all these unhealthy relationships. And it was the wildest thing. I was like, oh my gosh. I can just let go to those healthy relationships. So, anyway.
I'm not going to tell you the one good thing I ever got from Cosmo. It's not appropriate. But it works. It still works.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll talk about that after the show.
Okay, the next
anyway,
one.
Visual. Yes, sometimes you got to write it or print it or whatever you need to do. Visually see it.
I love that. Okay.
Next.
I'm going to share with you one that worked for me.
Okay.
I was doing a mindfulness exercise in like a CEU training.
Okay.
Which, for any of my practitioners out there, we know CEU trainings are sometimes thumbs up, sometimes thumbs down, boring.
Yeah. CEUs, for those of you that don't know, are like continuing education credits. They're things you have to do as a professional to make sure that you're staying up to date with what's going on in your professional world. It's not just social work. A lot of people have to do those. So that's what that's what that is.
And a lot of times they feel like a chore.
Oh, 100%. Because you have to do them to stay licensed. You have to get a certain amount of them and pay for them. But some of them are really helpful and beneficial.
Which came out of this one.
Okay,
so they were doing a mindfulness training.
A good CEU. Whoa,
I know,
whoa.
which is so rare. I hate to say that, but it is true.
It is.
And so they were like, okay, so we're going to do this mindfulness exercise. And they had us, and I don't remember a lot of it, but part of it was visualize someone that you know, like any adult that loves and cares about you. And picture what they're saying to you right now. And it blew my mind. And I thought, I have like two big pieces, like two big people in my life that I think of. One of them was more my adolescence. Her name was Grandma Barb.
Oh.
She was not my biological grandmother, but she spent hours with me.
Biology, schmology.
That's what I'm saying. And I just really imagined what she would say if she was confronted with my internal monologue.
Mm-hmm.
And she was terrified of spiders, and she's the first person that introduced me to gummy worms. And she would sit for hours and let me watch whatever I wanted on TV. And I was always hopeful that I got babysat by her. And I just remembered thinking like, oh my gosh, if Grandma Barb heard my internal monologue of me saying I was a failure,
she'd be mad.
She'd probably hit me with the broom that
she'd be mad
to like get the spider webs out.
Oh, for sure you'd get smacked, which is not okay, but that's a different podcast. We'll get there.
I don't even think she hit me. She just waved it at me. Really,
yes.
Annie.
No.
That's exactly right. And then she would go smoke in her kitchen and try to hide it by turning on the
like the vent fan for the oven and stove. No.
Freaking love that woman.
I love Grandma Barb.
Oh, she was so pivotal in my life. And then I think of like my Uncle Mike. Yeah. And I think of like
your Uncle Mike is amazing.
And he would be like kind of mad at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'd be like, how was this productive? You know, like and just but also like very kind. But like
Yeah.
things like that, I think of, oh my gosh, those are patriarchs. Did I say that right? Patriarchs and matriarchs.
Yeah.
In my life that I can think of, like when I'm noticing those internal monologues, what would those voices say? And really replacing that kind of blew my mind. And like using that as a meditation exercise,
wow,
really sets you up for success.
Yeah.
And so I just think, and what's really beautiful about it is it's really, a lot of our internal monologues come from core wounds and from how we were raised.
Right.
That's a really hard topic. And this mindfulness exercise gives you the ability to sort of step out of that and to really feel those good waves of energy.
Yeah.
So.
And that, I think, I mean, if you're going to get all scientific with it,
yeah,
it's reparenting, and we can get into that more with core wounds.
Yes.
You're an adult now.
Yeah.
And you have to be the parent for you now. So that's kind of what you were doing, right? So finding this trusted, loved figure, dead or alive, whatever you need.
Exactly. To
be kind.
Yeah.
To that poor little negative voice. I love it. I love it.
And we'll do an episode on reparenting. In fact, I'm going to take a note of it right now, because that's a huge practice.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I love that.
What's interesting is that it's something that I've not ever used.
Yeah. Same.
Just because I don't know that I have a lot of positive adult figures. Which is kind of sad now that I'm thinking about it.
We should dive into that too, because there's some really weird therapeutic practices because this was kind of big in like the 80s and 90s, and there were some really weird practices that came out of that are not used anymore, but had like a brief blossoming into therapeutic practice.
Love it.
Yeah, we can cover, and that will just be juicy, if you will, because I love stuff like that. Okay. You got to talk a little bit.
My turn?
Yeah, you're up next. Is what would my BFF say?
So maybe that's my version of like a trusted adult figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a lot of the times I have to think to myself, would I say that to my best friend? Or like, would my best friend ever say that to me about me? Right? Right?
Yes.
And again, it's got to be a loved and trusted friend.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to pick the right person. And honestly, most of the time it's you.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Let's be honest. It's like, what would Annie tell me about this thing that I'm telling myself right now? If like I thought I did something like really stupid or I did something poorly.
Yeah.
I'm like, if Annie were here, what would she say about this situation? Because you would just pump me the fuck up. That's what you do. You pump me up, right?
Yeah.
And would the things I'm saying to myself, are those things I would ever say to you?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
God, no. Because you know what?
No.
You pump me up.
Yes.
I remember someone telling me, I have made a joke about this. My husband has said I'm too encouraging. And I met a new girlfriend. She was a friend of Aaron's, or a girlfriend of Aaron's friend. And we had met, kind of clicked, hit it off. And we were very mutually complimenting each other. Not fake. Like, and I'm talking like work stories. She's telling work stories. I'm like, dang, you've clearly worked really hard. And she does. She works extremely hard. Yeah. So we're like having these exchanges. And her boyfriend was like, man, you guys like compliment each other a lot. And I just like dead straight looked him in the eye. And I was like, it is so hard to be a woman. You don't understand. Having someone that builds you up actually means a lot.
Yes.
And like, I understand that you don't get that. And maybe, but like, and I think he was kind of like taken aback. I don't usually talk that intensely, but it was like, I was like, don't you even. Because none of this is fake. And like,
no,
we need this because we've just been pooped on all day. Like,
yes.
And it was awesome. So it just reminded me of that.
And I think you need BFFs to pump you up, right? You need to surround yourself with people that do that. But at the same time, I think realistically, we need to work on being our own best friends, right?
Yes.
So it's doing both.
Yes. Have someone who reflects positivity to you, like have healthy relationships, which kind of leads me into mine.
Okay.
It's the vocalize it.
Ooh.
This has been a huge one for me. And this really only works if you have healthy attachment with a human, which we will kind of get into. We'll definitely talk about what healthy attachment looks like, healthy relationships look like.
Oh boy, howdy. Yeah. That'll be a whole other podcast.
And my favorite concept in the world, which is something called earned attachment. So that means, and I'm just going to plug this, we'll dive so deep into attachment. But you'll probably find when we talk about attachment that there are elements of your attachment that may fall into what people would call quote unquote unhealthy. What is so cool about the human experience is you can earn healthy attachment. Now that isn't to say that isn't like a personal worth scale. It just means that our brains and our bodies can earn healthy attachment when we are in healthy relationships. And that's like the coolest thing.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. It's so awesome. And I have healthy attachment with my partner, which was a really big change for me. And so as we built this love and trust and like, I realized I had a space where I could talk about an internal monologue that was really unhealthy.
Like actually out loud talk to somebody about your internal monologue.
I would just say, I just am feeling like such a failure right now. And this is why. And then having someone like objectively who sees you, who's now known you for years, right?
Right.
Say like, well, that's not true. And this is why.
Right.
In a very loving way.
Yes.
Not like in a like, I'm going to fix
You're an
way.
idiot and I'm going to fix. No.
And like I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
So the saying out loud was huge for me. And in the moment, it has stopped a lot of shame spirals.
Wow.
And I really encourage people, like, if you're having these internal thoughts, sharing it with, like, people that you consider close, trusted advisors. And also, if that's too scary, start with a therapist. Get a therapist.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm having these feelings. I don't know how to communicate this with the people that love and support me.
Yes.
That changed my life. So I hope that could maybe be a tool for other people.
Oh, I think I'd love that. And I think we tend to do that a lot for each other as well. And not even thought about it before.
Oh, yeah.
Map that shit out.
We are going long this episode, which I actually love.
Okay.
We have one more.
Okay.
And it's reframing. You want to chat with us about reframing?
Girl, I love to reframe. I got this from a therapist a long time ago.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll literally hold my hands up and I will put a frame up, reframe.
I love that. Okay, it's like isn't that the look at this photograph? That's not how he holds his thing.
He might. That'd be a really cool shot. I mean, you guys can't see us, but like if we were on video right now, it'd be a really cool like artistic kind of Vogue-y shot. We've got frames with our fingers.
Oh, we could do the Vogue too. I'm loving it. I'm doing the Madonna Vogue. Okay,
reframing.
Love this.
So my very specific example, which actually happened to me within the last 2 weeks in my therapy sessions, is I'm on some new medications for me, and I was talking to my therapist how at work we were doing this staff retreat, and I felt like I was oversharing. I felt like I was talking too much.
Yeah.
And like telling people too many things about myself and like not giving people enough time and space, and of course I was spiraling about it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then it just hit me, I don't know, a week later, maybe, just maybe, I was not oversharing, but finally was equally participating in a conversation.
I'm gonna take a high five for that.
Woo! I think old Susan, her internal monologue, right, is you don't have anything worth saying. Yeah. You are quiet until someone asks you your opinion, then you can share it, right? So to just like start talking about things felt really awkward, and my internal monologue immediately went negative, right? You've overshared. People think you're weird now. You've told people too much stuff. People think you talk too, right? It went totally negative. Yeah. So I reframed it.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I don't care. I'm reframing it into I am finally equally participating in a conversation and taking the space that I deserve in that conversation.
Oh my God.
Hashtag reframe!
Hashtag reframe. And also, like, I just got goosebumps.
Did you?
Yes. Because, you know, I'm your BFF. So I know you, and there is no capacity in which you could overshare, right? Because I'm imagining all the things that you've ever said to me, and I'm thinking of all the value that's brought me as a human, right?
Okay.
So I'm just seeing, like, how lucky those people are to hear any level at which you consider quote-unquote oversharing. And I think that reframe is so healthy because you are good. You are wonderful. So whatever you have to say is good and wonderful.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I have chills. I have so many chills.
Goosebumps.
And reframing, I love reframing so much. It is hard work, though.
Like I said, this was years of therapy where I even learned the idea of reframing situations. And it's something that I'm, because I work so hard at it, still able to do for myself. Not all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't work every time. But boy, howdy.
Yeah.
When it pops up and it works just wonderfully.
Oh my God.
Okay.
We covered some deep stuff, and I appreciate you sticking with us.
Yeah. Treat yourself tonight, okay? Yeah. Take a bubble bath. Have the glass of wine. Watch the whatever you need to do that. This was a lot. This was a lot tonight.
Yeah.
So be gentle with yourself tonight.
Be gentle with yourself, and we support you.
And we love you.
Oh my gosh, we love you so much. Just, I hope you so much positivity coming up. Like, it's a hard world out there. You are important and valued. And next week, we're going to talk about core wounds. It's going to be kind of intense.
Yeah.
But then we're going to add some lighter subjects.
Yeah,
we'll get
fun. 100%.
But, gotta be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have to do it. I love you, Susan.
I love you.
So much it's stupid. Today was amazing, and I hope you joined us for chatting about core wounds and how that looks for you.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.